Hi everyone, and welcome to the final instalment of this mammoth build of Bronco's 17-pounder self-propelled gun in 1/35th scale, better known as the Archer. Now it's taken me 6 months to get this build complete, but we finally managed to get it over the line. So if you want to grab yourself a chair and a brew, and we'll have a look at the final stages of how we managed to finish off this build. So, left you on the last video looking at the tracks, and as you can see here, all of the tracks have been assembled. They've been weathered on the underside as well. These are all plastic single link tracks, which I absolutely hate. Fell apart about 6 times altogether, despite being continually glued together. Looking forward to going back to metal tracks on my next project. However, for those of you who aren't aware, Fool have sadly no longer in production of metal tracks. So grab them as you can, because they'll probably be going through the roof as prices go. But yes, as always, there are other metal tracks on the market if you so wish. So I was really pleased once that had all been done, because now I could concentrate on the upper hull. Now, in the last couple of videos, did some extensive work on the oil paint rendering, so I won't bore you with that all again. But as you can see, first off, the dust layer was laid down, and then secondly, slightly darker dust layer and more detailed dust and speckling effects were added. And then with a nearly dry blending brush, streaks were applied to that dust layer, remembering to use the hairdryer in between each layer to make sure the oils are thoroughly dried. Then once that was done, we start adding on some detailing with the darker raw umbers and dark siennas, giving those sort of dark areas dirt and rust looks. And also on the front, you can see some of the grease and the grime coming down at the front and also on the sides here. And then finishing off with a black sepia wash, pin wash, which again was all blended out. Here are some of the areas that I really liked that came out well here with the dust and the lighter effects. The top of the engine hatches there was particularly well done, I thought, came out really nicely. And also you can see here how the seams and the dirt and the grime along with the speckling produce a really realistic look. And some nice little tow or hanging cable dirt marks there and streaks. So now what it was is a matter of putting all the final bits and bobs together. Here we have the wheels, the cable reel and the exhaust. It's all been oil painted and now, as you can see, added to the model. Closer look there with the rear spare on this side with the cable reels as well. So let's have a good close look at the model now before we start to open the inside up. Some very nice effects. I've also at this stage gone over some of the metal areas with a HB pencil, just to give it that little bit of a extra metallic look. But I was really pleased with how the oil paint and weathering went. Lots of subtle changes. As you can see there, yet again, the tracks are broken. But that was managed to be repaired, no problems there. As we work our way around to the front, you can see the silvering on the wheels and the sprockets. And there's that engine hatch. I was really pleased with how that turned out. And there we have all the grease and oil stains coming from the engine at the front. And there on the sides as well. Now this particular area that I've marked out, you can see the difference between the oil point rendering on the outside and on the inside. Gives a nice contrast. And here we have a few photos showing how we put the radio and the seating all in, and also some of the spare equipment. And finally, we made the headphone and speaker cables, which was just some 2mm wire wrapped together and then painted. And that was all then added, and along with the gun section as well. To be fair, it all went together really well. I didn't have that many issues with it at all. So with that done, as you can now see, we have the final reveal video. Just really in conclusion, this is an awesome kit. I had no issues with the kit at all, other than the fact it does take a lot of effort. Lots of components to put together. Not only do you first paint and weather the inside of the engine, you've then got to paint and weather the inside loading area, and then once that's all done, you've then got to paint and weather the outside. So it is a very detailed, intricate build. Lots of parts. I think it's just over 1,000 parts. Plus, you got all the photo etch there as well. So this is one of the most challenging builds I have had. That's why it took me nearly 6 months. However, stick with it, because as you can see from these photos, the detailing on the final model is wonderful. I was so pleased with how it all came out. So, I'll leave you with this finished video. There are copious amounts of close-up photos after this video as well for those of you who are interested. And it just really leaves me to say thank you ever so much for sticking with me on this one. You know, it has taken half a year to complete, and all your support and your comments along the way have helped me manage to get this one over the finishing line. So thank you very much indeed, and a big thank you to all of my subscribers. Happy modeling!